David, sir, the ATF kicked down my door, my front door to take my stove. The agents were crying. Hey, you want to? Here's a funny story, by the way. I recently said goodbye. I held a funeral and burial service for my gas stove. It was just showing its age. It was time for a new stove. So I went with induction. It's an electric stove. I once had an induction stove about a year ago at another place I lived, and it was so great that I decided I'm getting an induction stove. And it was a beautiful delivery, and I saluted and cried, actually, as they took the stove. And, you know, Joe Biden even called and said, never again will you be allowed to have a gas stove. So they took the gas stove. The guy who delivered the new induction stove was proselytizing me to Christianity. Not a joke, folks. Not a joke. He said to me, how did it even start? He started with, he saw my baby daughter and said, you're married. And I said, actually, I'm not married. And he said, oh, well, you know, either way, marriage is a gift from God. And I said, is it? And at this point, I'm like, dude, hook up the freaking stove and get out of here. And he said, yeah. You know why? Because in Matthew 64, started citing something, blah, 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 blah. And I just said to him, in these situations, I don't say I'm Jewish, because some proselytizing evangelicals like the Jews, and they're like, oh, you're going to help us bring Jesus. Then you'll die, but you'll help us bring Jesus. Others don't like the Jews. So I just said, I'm not actually religious. He said, that's okay. God still provides marriage to everyone. And it got really, really, really awkward. Now, 10 years ago, David Pakman would have reported the guy and tried to get him fired. Now, I just feel bad because I'm like, this guy probably doesn't even really make that much money. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to report it. I'll just, never get a delivery from this company again. But it was very, very unprofessional. I agree.